Hi, I'm Andrew from Creative Guitar Studio. Thanks for tuning in to my weekly blog. Haven't been at this for a while. Been really busy around the studio, so hopefully I can get back into a regular routine once again. Got a lot of messages from people. Hey, when are you posting another blog? Well, I'm back. And YouTube expanded their non-partner time as well for uploads on videos, so that's kind of nice. I don't have to keep trying to jam it into that 10-minute block. But let's get going on questions, because I am getting loads of questions all the time. I can't possibly answer all of them in the couple of videos I post on YouTube for the guitar lessons every week, but hopefully I can get a couple more knocked off in the guitar blog through the weekly sessions I'm doing here. So let's start off with a question from Cristian out in New Jersey. He wrote in saying, there's a whole bunch of different chords, and I can't really combine them with the songs. I have no idea how to use them. Can you do a lesson on different types of chords and how to associate them with songs? Well, I have quite a few lessons on YouTube that have to do with harmony, with theory practices of chord construction. I've got intervals, I've got triads up there, I've got information on seventh chords, I've done videos on extensions, altered chords, all the harmony, basic substitutions. This is the kind of stuff, Cristian, that you need to be looking at. Anybody that wants to have an idea on how to use chords has to not only learn that theoretical process of how it all interlocks and fits together, you got to know your key signatures and all that jazz, but you also got to learn songs too. In the course of me, working as a guitarist, I've been making a living just playing guitar now for close to 20 years, and I cannot tell you how many songs I've learned, and it helps immensely. It's just huge what it does for you. Now, there's another sidebar thing that happens with this over time, and it's really cool. You wind up gaining a really good handle on hearing sounds. And what I mean specifically is, I'll give you an example of a student, one of my summer students. He's been with me for a while, but in the summer, he came back in after I took my vacation. And he said to me, man, you wouldn't believe what happened. I'm driving along in my car, beautiful summer day. He said, I'll never forget this. There's a song playing on the radio, and there was a break in the tune, and the guitar player strummed the chord, and he said, man, I knew just when I heard that chord that it was a major 7 chord. And I said, well, that's wicked. That's exactly what should be going on. Over time, your ears will get to a level where you can just hear this stuff, And so anyway, he was really happy. But this is sort of what I'm saying that it all leads to, is you will just get to the point where when you hear something, you just know what it is. You'll just know that that's a dominant chord, or hey, that guy just played a diminished on that album or that song or whatnot. So anyway, that's sort of where it leads to. But Cristian, you got to learn harmony, and you got to do your all of your areas of theory about chord construction, especially intervals, right up through all the harmony on chords and substitutions and so forth. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. It's from Melody. She wrote in saying, hi, Andrew. I'm trying to teach myself how to play guitar, and I know how to read music, but how do you play the notes on the guitar? I have looked up reading guitar tabs, and most are talking about placement of the finger on the tabs, where to play, and so on. I need help in actually reading the music. Like, for instance, she gives a quote here about playing an A through a scale, and then understanding, which string it's on, and then what finger to play it on, and so forth. Well, what I'm going to do for you, just off the hop here, I'm going to try to answer this a little bit here, but I have some really great videos on my Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel. I'm going to place a link in the description box of this video to a playlist relating to my music reading videos. I've probably got 5 or 6 of them up there, and what you need to understand is the guitar neck is really two-dimensional, and it's very regional on how it operates. So to read music well, there's a whole bunch of other information that you've got to be aware of. Mainly the concepts of how the neck is regional. And just in a nutshell, what that means is, like, from open position to 5th position is one range, it's one region. From 5th to 10th fret is sort of another region. Another region would exist from 10th to 15th. If you're noticing what I'm talking about here in my explanation, it seems to always be these 5 fret clusters, and that's because the guitar is essentially about 5 frets long. It just recurs. Now, obviously, when you go higher on the neck, you lose out on lower pitches. When you're playing lower down on the fingerboard, you lose out on the higher pitches. So you have to learn about regions. Now, the other thing you got to learn about if you want to get into music reading is you got to know your scales and understand your key signatures of how your hand is going to sit in various areas on the fingerboard, because that's obviously going to play a huge role of where you're going to decide to play something. Like, take a note, let's just say, pick a random note like F. There's an F on the first string, first fret. there's another identical F, a unison of that one, on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And then there's another F found on the 3rd string on the 10th fret. So what ends up happening is you've got all these exact same places that on a music staff it looks like the exact same F note, and you've got to make a determination by looking at the music that you're going to read as to what region of the guitar neck that you're going to use to perform the music reading study that you're reading off a piece of paper. So that is the solution. Check out my music reading videos that I'll place in the description box below. I think you're going to get a lot of help out of that. Now the next question I'm going to move on to. First of all, I've got to apologize. This question came in a while ago. It came in during the summer, and I kept meaning to reply, but it just, it was just crazy through the last little while here for me. So this question is from Alex out in Quebec. He wrote in, I would like to attend the Musicians Institute in California, but I'm not sure how much money I should expect to spend every month, or if I should get a car, etc. I'd really appreciate it if you could share your experience in California. Well, first of all, for me, it really wasn't too bad going out there. I have relatives in Los Angeles, so sort of just gave the aunt and uncle a call and talked to my cousins, and stuff like that, and got everything sorted out. When I got there, I was lucky enough my cousin had some time on his hands to drive me around and find where I was going to wind up living in Hollywood area where the Musicians Institute is. So if you do not have family out there and you are coming out there from, let's say, out of the country, I guess probably what I would suggest doing is maybe heading out there about 6 months ahead of time, scoping the whole area, looking at the rental suites that are in the neighborhood. You probably want to get something that's a furnished bachelor suite or something like that. The place where I lived was great. You could maybe check that place out. It was called U.S.A. Manor. It's right by North Highland there. And it's very close to the school, but if you get a group of people that you become friends with that are neighbors, because there's quite a few students wind up living in that U.S.A. Manor complex, you can find some people that you could make your weekly shopping trips off. There's some grocery stores on Sunset Boulevard that you can go to. I used to go to a store every weekend called Ralph's and stock up on all my supplies. That's another thing to think about too. Even if you get a furnished bachelor suite or something, you're going to need sheets, you're going to need pillows, all that kind of stuff. You're going to also need to get pots and pans. You're probably going to want to get a fan because it gets really hot in California. All your sundry items, soap and cleaning supplies, all that kind of stuff. So the initial hit, you may wind up needing to spend $500 or $600 just to kind of get, that first month there, just getting yourself set up. And it's a lot of stuff where it's not like you're going to be able to pack it and take it with you when you're going out there. I guess you could have family perhaps ship you things. I saw that happening sometimes. But there's a lot of planning. You had mentioned a car. I personally didn't get a car. I lived really close to the school. I didn't get a lot of I never got a TV or anything like that. My idea was I was going there to just practice and play guitar and study, and that was it. So, there were people that I went to school with where, they got televisions, they got cable hooked up and all this kind of stuff. And, I didn't quite understand that personally. I thought it was really a lot smarter to just go there and immerse yourself in music and, sort of do the 24/7 music thing. And, but, what's right for some people obviously isn't right for everybody. But there's all these decisions and all this planning that you have to make happen. And that's probably, my suggestion to you is to really go there initially, check out what your grocery bills will probably be like week to week, and start building a concept of a budget. The Musicians Institute housing department is really helpful to get you started on understanding where you could scope out places to live and give you some general organizational ideas. But of course, a lot of the planning will ultimately rest on your shoulders. So anyway, I hope that helps. It's a big plan to get out there and do the Musicians Institute thing, but for me anyway, it was well worth it. It was an excellent time. Anyhow, that's about all the time I have for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be blogging again next week. Take care and bye for now, and we'll see you next time.